Hello. All right. I'm ready. I'm up. I'm ready. I'm awake. I'm in character. It's Peaks Dallas Live Friday night on delay. Oh, I got my phone turned on. I can hear myself. All right, that's good. Friday night once again. This is Benji'S 510 game. He's already pretty happy with himself because he got his personal pepperoni pizza. He told me he was very hungry and that he was going to eat it all. Look at him. Happy as a clam. Right out the gate, we're playing some $25 PLO bomb pots. This is probably capped at 1,000. And Benji's got this locked. And he takes it down. We are five-handed for now. That's my buddy Eric Hernandez in the 4-seat. The Mad Villain. John Harris in the 4-seat. Benji in the 5-seat. Kind of a big deal. Special guest tonight. Gonna be playing the stream more often. We got Slick Rick himself in the 8-seat. If anybody doesn't know him, go look up his content. It's very good. Slick Rick on Instagram, YouTube channel. You can learn a lot from Slick Rick. Very strong player. And then in the 9th seat, that is El Jefe, Eric the Provider. He's been playing very well. This game runs on Tuesday night, but we don't stream it, and it's been insane. Oh, hey, Greg. Thanks for chatting in the chat window. I see you. Benji already took down a pot. I didn't see what he had. It's whatever. We got some folks late. I expect a Seinfeld to show up soon. He's out of town, I'm hearing. He's one of my favorites. I think Globe might sit down. But for now, this is going to be a five-handed battle. Could be pretty fun.
It's the three Eric. There's 3 Erics.
Hey, look at that. An open on the button from Slick Rick. Winning the blinds. If you can win the blinds every hand, you'll be a rich man. I think. I don't know. Seems impossible. Seem impossible. Anybody wants to play? I was playing the 1-2 round of one hand of DC out on the main floor before this. It was very good. I did all right. Slick Rick knows his charts. He's a mathematical man, a studied player. His opening range from the cutoff will be appropriate. And an offsuited ace-6 is in such an appropriate category. I'm drinking a big gulp of Diet Coke. I put booze in it. No, I didn't. This game usually straddles to $25. And Eric Hernandez getting a little fresh. Slick Rick will defend with a dominated 7. Can he hit a 9? He cannot. This should be a C-betting board for our hero. He goes small, bets his entire range. And Slick Rick's 9-7 offsuit cannot continue. Everybody bought in for $3,000 except for Hefe, who is in for 2. The buy-in structure on this big boy game is 1,000 to 3,000 cap. And it gets pretty damn big because after about an hour of some stackenings, these boys will move it to match the stack. Five-handed, we're going to see a bunch of fast hands, a bunch of heads-up stuff, and a bunch of defending the straddle. Wow. Slick Rick flopping a flush here. Pretty much all he can do is check. Hefe will not be putting any more money in this pot. Delayed C-bet from Slick Rick goes 1/3 pot, flops a flush, wins $75. And my buddy Eric, he has been playing more and more 5-10. He's always been a good player, but I think he is... Hey, Lukey. Good to see you, bud. Slick Rick has pocket jacks. Goes to 75. And this could get fun. Top set for Slick Rick. He's going to start trapping in this flush draw from our hero. Wants to start building a pot. I wonder if we see a check raise just yet. There it is. The quite fun open pre-flop check raise flop. He is targeting flush draws, which our hero has. And Slick Rick might go pretty big here, hoping to target a ace paired with a flush draw. Yeah, he does. This is a full pot sized bet to possibly even 600. Oh, 500. Pretty big. Eric just has the 7 outs as the jack of diamonds or the ace of diamonds will boat up Slick Rick. Eric Hernandez, our hero, might have had the implied odds there to possibly hit his flush and get paid off. We will never know as he folds his queen high flush draw. It's probably a good fold. There's that pizza. Yes, yes. Eric the Provider will buy everybody pizza and other types of food, dinner foods, during our stream nights, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday now. Hell yeah, we got a 4-way pot. It's $300 already. Slick Rick's flopping the best again, but our hero has another flush draw. Can he hit it this time? Half pot bet for Slick Rick. Our hero cannot fold with 32% equity. Bink. There it is. He got it this time. Got there right on the turn. Slick Rick will be checking back. There it is. A diamond would be disastrous. No. And this is a fun little decision. Eric decides to lead out for a small sizing. Gets snapped off by an ace. And he wins a nice big pot. $600 profit going Eric's way. And I wonder if he could have made his river bet size larger. Always something to consider, as you'd want to maximize the value when you make your hand. Yeah, this is already a battle with five-handed. You're gonna have some lighter opens and some wider defends. The 7-deuce game is on, and I believe that each player is about to pay Eric $50 a piece for winning the 7-deuce game. Nice little start for Eric. Oh, graphics, can we turn this television up again so I can hear? Oh, God, really? Jesus. All right. I'm sorry, folks. We have no table audio tonight, so y'all are just going to have to listen to me. I'll try to be extra entertaining. Might even pipe in some music. Oh, I love when this happens. John and Benji battling it out. John making a light peel with King High. This is a good turn card for Benji to barrel the double barrel bluff, and Benji goes small, $300. I don't know how John could continue now with King High, but it looks like he's about to check raise. Go get him, John. Yeah. He does not believe Benji right now. But there are... Wow, good play, John. I don't know if he had a read on Benji there. I guess he had more of the nines to represent. It's our first big check raise bluff of the night. We could see quite a few of those in this five-handed configuration. Oh, hell yeah. And I say hell yeah.
But no, button should be on right here.
On an all diamond board, our hero range bets. Down bet to 60, 1/3 pot. Little does he know, John has top 2 pair, which cannot fold. Eric Hernandez is just going with it. With this exact combo and no diamonds, if he goes with this, he doesn't. He white flags and gets the bad news. Yes, good job not to bluff there. You pretty much get called by all the aces. Hefe was dominating our hero pre-flop. But Eric has picked up a flush draw, and this is a flop that favors him. This is a gut shot straight draw for Hefe, and his jack high is still good, so he is going to peel one. Our hero has a ton of equity right now. Now they are both open-ended, and our hero with the combo draw might go pretty big. He has a flush draw and a straight draw, and he's going half pot. I think Eric... Well, they're both so wide pre-flop, big blind versus straddle. Yes, that aggression is going to take it down for our hero. Hello, Uncle Joe Light. Ah, Slick Rick with kings now. I missed the pre-flop action, texting somebody. But this now might get kind of expensive for Hefe. I don't really see a reason why Slick Rick slows down here. Could check back for pot control, but he's going to want to get value from flush draws and good queens. And he goes about 2/3 pot. Unfortunately, Hefe cannot fold, and he has 30% equity, so he's getting the correct direct odds to make this call. What would he be putting Slick Rick on? Oh, no. Hefe with a pair and a flush draw decides to just rip it. It's actually not that big of a raise, as Hefe only had $1.3 thousand behind. This is a single raise pot pre-flop, so Hefe doesn't have any of these sets of queens or sets of jacks. The main thick value hand that Slick Rick is going to be worried about is Queen Jack. And they're going to go twice. Hefe needs to hit his flush at least once. Getting the chips right in the middle. Here's the first run out. That one goes to Slick Rick. Queen 8 or club. Oh no. Hefe gets stacked with a king on the river. And our first early stacking. Hefe stuck early. I wonder how he adjusts. Oh, there's Clint. Clint do hit. That's my buddy. He's a fun player. I saw him running ridiculous bluff on Tuesday. It was a bluff jam for about $2,000. Pure bravery. But honestly, it was a really well-structured bluff. Yes, on that last hand, it was pretty tough to assume that Slick Rick had an overpair, but you always have to put that in his range. But it is a small part of his range. I don't know if Hefe gets enough to fold, as he blocks the natural bluffs that Slick Rick could have had. Uncle Joe asks, how do we name these games? So about 8 months ago, Benji wanted to play some 5-10 here at Peaks. And then we gathered up a bunch of 5-10 players. We named it Benji'S game, just as kind of a just arbitrary naming convention. But because he has his name attached to this game, he gets his own personal pepperoni pizza every time we stream. I don't really know if he contributes enough to warrant his own pizza, but we give it to him anyway because it makes him happy and it keeps him coming back. I'm really liking this lineup. These 5-10 guys have been battling each other for a while. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of leveling. Everybody's going to fight for most of the pots. And it's going to be a completely different game style than what we are used to streaming. Well, we're used to streaming this. I mean, this is one of the first games we started streaming, but it plays much, much differently than all of the 1-2 variants and the 2-5 variants. There's a giant step up from 2-5 to 5-10. Skill-wise. Clint in the $25 straddle. He's got a very shiny chain. Benji with a real big one. And Clint has to defend with his suited ace. $165 in this pot. This is going to come down to diamonds versus hearts and no diamonds. Top two for Benji and top pair decent kicker for Clint. He's going to have to call a couple streets here. And less than 1/3 pot size bet. Benji wants to keep in a lot of Clint's straddle defense range. And now Benji overbets this pot to $350, really putting the pressure on Clint. There are quite a few bluffs that Benji can have here, but Clint is now already in bluff catching mode. And when you're in spots like this, you have to think about how often Benji is going to blast river. The river bricks out, and this pot is very big. Benji is gonna have to try to identify the hands that Clint might be able to call a big bet with. He's gonna try to make this bluffy. Believe he's gonna polarize. He's gone for 3 streets, and I think, well, because I can see the hands. Some version. Oh, he's just going to rip it. This is a giant bet. This is a 2x size pot. So he basically polarizes as much as humanly possible to try to get bluff caught by Clint. He's praying Clint has a worse 2 pair. But none of the draws get here. And Benji's natural bluffs are, let's see here. Like some Queen Jack, Jack 10. Any of the gut shot straight draws. Some 8-9. I think Benji wants to unblock clubs, which he does. Benji does actually bluff enough to get paid off in some spots like this. He has the effective nuts because if Clint had had a set of 7s or a set of 6s, Clint would have raised the flop or the turn, you would assume. He's really in the blender on this one. And I don't know if y'all are picking that up on... Well, no one's picking up any of the table volume tonight. Good fold, Clint. I think you have better bluff catchers. King Club Rag is a natural bluff. Yeah, probably. I'm actually not really good at like counting up all the bluff combos because they're the capability of these guys to just bluff with air. They've played so much together. They'll do some leveling. And if Benji had just sensed that Clint was on the weaker side there, he could bluff with a lot of different hands. But you're talking about specific natural bluffs, and I don't really completely understand the distinction between the two. It's really air balls or just semi-bluffs, I believe. Benji's already targeting John with a 3-bet bluff pre-flop with ace-9 of spades. This actually could be for value, but Hefe is going to cold 4-bet from the small blind. Goes 4x for $1,000, and this will take down some dead money for sure. Benji blocks some aces. Oh, there's Globe. There's Mr. Daddy Hat. He's got a cool party guy shirt on tonight. Benji thinks against it. Benji's ace-9 suited was not doing that well against 10s plus. Is dominated by ace-king, ace-queen suited. And he makes the correct fold. Globe is a really interesting player. He played on the stream last night. He has a very interesting donk leading range that he uses really effectively. Let's see how effective it is in this 5-10 game. Benji's trying to win the 7-deuce game under the gun. John makes a really wide defend and flops a gut shot and backdoor diamonds. Benji's just licking his chops because this is his board. I don't know how far into this pot Benji. Well, he just goes with it and wins the 7-deuce game, and that's $50 extra for everybody. So Benji just won $440 with a 7-deuce offsuit. 7-deuce game is fun. We've already seen it win twice tonight. I have played in the 5-10 game once a while back, and it had to pay out 10 times. And I honestly wasn't that crazy about it. Is Benji just drinking straight champagne tonight? It's Friday night, Benji. Don't spill your champagne. And first hand for Globe looks down at queens. Ooh, this could get fun. How big is Clint going to make this raise? Right now, this is a flip. Clint goes to 275. A little more than 3x. Is Globe the type to just put it in here? No, he is going to trap with queens. Clint might rule out queens as most of the time they're supposed to 4-bet. Oh, but there's an ace on the board. Is Globe going to be able to get out of here losing the minimum? Clint wants to get some value out of some Broadway draws and a weaker ace. And he's definitely made this the right size for queens to call. Clint doesn't always have aces here. Globe's really thinking about it. He only bought in for $2,000. I'd be thinking, can I handle a big turn bet if I call here? As I'll only have about 1,600 left. Globe did make that call. But now he is dead. There must be a couple burned queens. He doesn't even have 2 outs to hit a set. Interesting check back from Clint. I believe that's for deception. A little stop and go. Globe is putting out some very concerned vibes. Looks uncomfortable. Looks anguished. And if he rips it here as a bluff, he is getting snapped off. He does block some broadways and some big flush draws. I am very interested in this hand. I do not know if Globe can fold queens to this sizing. His relative hand strength is bad as he loses to sets of jacks, sets of tens, ace jack, ace 10, ace king, ace queen, jack 10, king 10 of clubs. He's asking for a count. It is 575. So a little on the smaller side as far as river bets go. And he's in the blender right now. Thank you so much. It's a decent chunk of his stack, folks. It's tough to fold big pocket pairs, but if he can find a fold here, he got out losing the minimum. He's counting up his stack. What percentage of this stack, of my stack, is this call going to be? You block some of the good flushes, but this does look like a strong ace. But he puts the call in and sees ace king and has to muck queens there. That's a really good play from Clint. Checking that turn and getting paid off by queens. I'm not certain if Globe wanted to have the queen of clubs or not here. He blocks the broadways. And pretty much most of the flushes. No worries, folks. We got a little bit of a misdeal. Oh, yeah, Beastall, sorry. We do not... Well, we used to quite a bit. But the round of... the round of each game doesn't really spread anymore because we mostly play 1-2 DC, which is one hand of dealer's choice, and that game gets really fun. It's a $1,000 cap. And so most players are just happy to play like all kinds of different games once in orbit. instead of being like locked into Hold'em and Omaha. Our hero on the button opens with ace-10 and flops an ace. Globe is going to donk lead into the pre-flop razor with a gut shot to Broadway. Our hero also has the gut shot to Broadway with top pair. Globe does this a lot, and it's a confusing move. And he probably slows down, yeah. He leads turns like, or he leads flops like this is just a kind of a feeler bet to see where he's at. But it did not work out that time. And he's now down to $775. This is Peaks Dallas Live. My name is Dan Simone. We are on delay for gaming integrity. Friday night, Benji'S game, 5-10. It's pretty much 5-10-25 at this point, as pretty much most of these players are going to be putting on the straddle. Ace-Jack offsuit for Hefe makes it 75. Does anyone have a hand to battle with? As of now, I'm seeing no. And it's really going to come down to whether Slick Rick wants to defend 10-8 offsuit, and he does. You got to play defense in this game, and Hefe flops top pair. My prognostication is that a C-bet snap fold is in order. And that is exactly what happens. Who do we got watching tonight? Oh, we're up to 16. We're happy to just have one person watching, enjoying some fun Texas poker, some mid-stakes battles. Let me talk as much as possible. That's always a good idea. Hey! Ooh, Eric did that thing where he looks at his hand real fast and he stops looking at it as fast as possible because it's aces. And any keen eye might pick up on that. I know a guy named Renee that used to like really take into account how people looked at their hole cards pre-flop as indications of strength. Top pair for Hefe. He's going to lose at least some amount of money in this hand. The tally right now is he's about to lose $60. This king might save him some money. If Hero goes any hefty sizing, like 3/4 or bigger, Hefe's probably going to fold this 10. But Hero makes it a good size. Hefe has 4 outs. Did he bink it? Yes, he did. Ayah! None of Hefe's diamond draws got there. But he is going to lead river. Our hero rather not have the ace of diamonds, but he can't fold aces. He sees that he got 4-outered and is, grossed out by it. He flings his $400 in black chips over at Hefe pretty aggressively. And getting aces cracked is never fun, folks. Especially when you get 4-outered. Whoa. Oh, hell. Stick around, everybody. In 15 minutes, a bunch of big hands available left. El Jefe winning a big pot off our hero, Eric, who in truth is a villain. And he should own it. Benji trying to win the 7-deuce game right now. Gets a pretty light call from Globe on the button. And Clint could go for a squeeze here. Look at these. Black chips getting picked up. It's a big squeeze. A little more than 6x. How far into the 7-deuce rabbit hole does Benji want to go? Benji's in position, hoping to flop something decent. If it flops spades, this will be a bloodbath. Ah! Oh, okay. Pair of 9s for Clint, pair of 7s for Benji. God, anything can happen at this point. I think as the pre-flop squeezer, a C-bet on a board like this is nice. Ace-Jack gets there. Clint still has just second pair. This 10 probably isn't great for him. And he does check it to Benji. Oh, what up, Shada? What up, girl? Miss you. Benji's really thinking about this. What can he get Clint to fold? He's looking at his chips now. This will have to be pretty big. He makes it look like Value Town. Little like 40% bet. He has not polarized on this turn. Wants to make this look like a nice king or some 2-pair. Benji was the initial opener, so he has plenty of kings in his range that Clint now loses to. And Clint is in a weird spot right now. His pre-flop raise was a bluff squeeze, and now he's in a bluff catching spot. And he gets out of there, and he's going to be pissed. Nice hand, Benji. Win the 7-deuce game. Ugh. All right, Slick Rick, after stacking Hefe's up $1,200. But Globe is at the bottom of that leaderboard. Stuck 1,500, it would seem. Hey, Shada, your dad's name was on the list for tonight. What happened? All right, Benji here with a pair of 4s opens, and Globe makes the call in position. Oh, wow. This overbet on the flop looks pretty weird. Globe just bet almost half of his stack with king high. Benji's probably going to sniff this out, honestly. He knows something's up. If he hasn't folded yet, his radar is percolating. He goes the cautious route and folds out fours. Globe might have a lot of middling pocket pairs that have fours dominated, and it's probably just too big of a sizing for Benji to call with fours. But he had to think about it because it's a weird-ass bet. Globe Daddy Hat is an unorthodox player and will do some very creative things. He's also been running hot as hell. Made some giant hands last night. Ruined some folks' night. Sent some people home. Folding out a lot of trash on hand 26. But Clinton the small blind with Jack 8 suited is worth an open. And I wonder how bad John's cards are. They're pretty bad. It's Dirty Diaper. It's one of the worst. John is a madman. Ace 6 7 2 hearts. Out of position. I've been doing this a little more often at the 1-2 game. Like C-bet bluffing less and check calling more out of position. I don't know. I just like to get more information from villain on the turn. I don't know how theoretically sound that is. But I'm a feel guy playing street poker. Here goes Slick Rick with a suited king to 75 in the hijack. That is charts approved. I think Rick is a pretty studied charts guy. Ooh-wee. What is our young Benji gonna do now? I see a 3-bet coming. It's a big-ass squeeze. 450? Damn. And this is interesting. Slick Rick is in position. He might want to start getting into fights with young Benji. But this is a big 3-bet pre-flop. And it looks pretty squeezy. But they both get out of the way. With the 7-deuce game on, I think these guys are going to be calling 3-bets in position more often. Because Benji now has like twice as many bluffs as normal. Offsuit ace on the button for Hero. It's worth an open to 75. Is Benji going to do it again? Here's another 3-bet squeeze. I think a chart would tell you that this is in a 3-bet pre-flop bluff range, but with our Hero opening on the button, it could just be for value. Our Hero's ahead right now. This is a dry rainbow board. Probably shouldn't connect with either player. Benji has all of the jacks plus. Does our hero want to get into a fight this big with just ace high? I mean, it's Benji. So I see a lot of people just like, I'm tired of getting pushed around by this kid, and I'm going to fight back, and they might spaz out and do something weird. But, oh yeah, here it is. Did I really just see that coming? What instinct? Now the question is, would our hero be immediately raising a flop with like an ace 10 or a pair of jacks? Or did he trap with a big pair like queens, kings, or aces? Benji blocks the kings and the queens, and that's why he really has to think about this. But our hero is announcing that he's just going to go for stacks. Is he going to be a villain and just show a 7? God, what a villain. He's really misnamed in our little system here. Because that was mad villainy, showing a 7. And now he's up $760. Hefe and Globe are our two players in the red. And Globe is now playing with a short stack that might have to go all in at some point soon. Yeah, Globe's not at the table as often as most, and sometimes will make our button movement confusing. It's all right, buddy. We should be able to figure it out. John here with King Jack offsuit or Jack King off is going to get raised by 9s from Slick Rick. A C3 bet for value, and King Jack offsuit folds. Yes, Globe with the $25 straddle on has about 30 big blinds. We're flying through hands. Benji hasn't taken any exorbitant amount of time to tank in a big spot. Globe wants to gamble for the last 750 of his stack. I think against hijack, a call with 6-4 suited is probably better played as a 3-bet. And Benji just flops top 2. Running well, gonna check it. Globe checks back, really needs to see a diamond on this turn or a 5. And Benji boats up. This is dusted. Is Benji going to let Globe bluff into this? He's opening the door for it. Ooh, he's taking the bait. Oh, and he overbets this turn again. Goes to 225. That is a big chunk of his stack. If Benji calls, Globe's only going to have about 75% of a pot-sized bet left. Benji's just going to let him hang himself, isn't he? What a bully. He's putting it all in, gets snap called, has 6 high. Benji shows the full house. And that might be a night for Globe. That might be his night. Got himself in a lot of trouble calling pre-flop with king 6-4 of diamonds. We are back down to six-handed, but these guys are just a table full of killers. Bunch of poker rapscallions. Graphics were spazzing out. Hefe made it 75 with kings or 6-5 offsuit. Got a call from 4-3 offsuit and c-bet and took it down. These guys are playing some wild ass hands. No, seriously, everybody go, I mean, don't go to his YouTube channel yet while you're watching this YouTube, but Slick Rick puts out a ton of really great content. Very informational. Educational. All right. Graphics are catching up. John has some nice spades. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is a coin flip now. Hefe's got a pair and a flush draw. John's got 2 overs and a flush draw. Hey, buddy. Thanks, dude. Hefe ran a big semi-bluff earlier with a pair and a flush draw. And this one might get him in trouble, too. He needs to brick out. Oh, a combo draw for John now. This pot could get out of hand. Hefe's looking at his chips like he wants to keep going. Oh, boy. This is not a pot-sized bet. This is a... Oh, and gets ripped on. Christ almighty. Whew. And Hefe is nonplussed. Cannot be very cheery about this situation he put himself in. It's going to be his entire stack, and John put max pressure on. He now has a second nut flush draw to the spades, 2 overs to Hefe's pair, and a Broadway draw to a 10. I don't know if Hefe could ever think that he's ahead in this situation. John has a lot of ace-jack. I mean, John even has sets of aces, sets of jacks that would do this. Hefe calls. Wow. Hefe's ahead, too. They're probably going twice. There's one for Hefe. Oh, my God. Is he about to double up? Oh, John hits the 10. They're chopping it. Good Lord. I think I can officially say that this game is lit. People still say lit. Anyway, good jam by John. I don't know about the call from Hefe. Having just third pair there and the flush draw. And blocking the spades. Whew. That was a fun one. Someone go put that in a solver. I didn't really get all the pot odds about it. Thanks, buddy.
No way, man. Put it out there, actually.
Yeah. Tyler. Oh, that was fun. Damn. Eric Hernandez getting fresh. Is Clint the type to try to set mine out of position? Are they deep enough? I never expect Clint to fold a pocket pair here. He loves to battle. Does not hit a 5. King high, rainbow, disconnected board. Very few draws out there. Our hero can c-bet his entire range for about 150. Goes 200. A little more than 1/3. Clint gets out of the way with 5s and an ace-9 offsuit. Running a pretty fun bluff pre-flop. Winning money with pure aggression. That could be the theme of the night. Here at Peaks Dallas Live on delay. My name's Dan Simone. Texas stream poker scandal. These pots are getting too big. That's our scandal. This is home of the hot decks. Deck's too hot. What the hell am I saying? Anywho, on to the next hand. We are still playing Hold'em. A suited one-gapper for John wins him the blinds. And I don't think Globe is coming back. Nathan, yes. There is a seat open. Squire, get over here, bud. The game is good.
Bro, I think your name's out there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Squire, that's what I was playing before the stream started. Friday nights here at Peaks are always pretty awesome. Get a couple good, fun 1-2 games going. Appreciate you, pal. Oh, and this could be a fun pot already. Slick Rick putting on the pressure from the small blind. This is a squeeze. There's incentive to squeeze as there is some dead money in here. And I wonder how thoroughly Slick Rick is picking up the tendencies of our hero. He hasn't really shown too many hands, but he did show that 7 to Benji, which Slick Rick definitely saw. And now he knows that our hero is capable of making some moves. This is a move. Damn. Our hero being a big, brave hero. Ace 3 of hearts. He blocks aces. He is suited. And he unblocks. This is important, apparently. He unblocks the 3-betting hands that Slick Rick has to fold. But 450 with 650 to call. He's almost getting 3-1. He doesn't really have a 5-bet bluffing range. And now this is, I mean, Slick Rick is definitely comfortable playing 4-bet pots out of position. That's not a consideration. Gaming Pro, there's maniacal players all over the place. Are you watching this hand right now? He gets Jack 10 to fold. Show it, dude. Show the 3. Be a villain. Flush draw for our hero. So we got him to show a flop. And that's why bluffs like that can work. Because he unblocks the hands that Slick Rick has to fold out. Like Jack 10 suited. Damn, I did not think Eric Hernandez was going to get the better of Slick Rick there. Playing Jack 10 suited has a lot of playability post-flop. But playing a giant pot like that out of position, always risky. Here's one of the better hands that John's had. Clint's not... Oh, Clint is folding. Eights versus tens. This board texture is fun. Oh, and we're getting a check raise from the eights. God, Eric's just on rampage mode. There are a ton of bluffs out there now. John blocks some of the bluffs that our hero could have. And I think this should be bigger. Is our hero making this bet for value? Now there's a full house on the board. Our hero's probably running through his head how often John can have a jack here. As he called a check raise on the flop. Yeah, that was an expensive bluff for our hero. And he just gave back a lot of the chips that he won bluffing previously. He's still up $720. Globe lost his whole stack of 2,000, so that's where all those green numbers are coming from. And yeah, that was a fast night for Globe. Now it's Hefe's turn to try to win the 7-deuce game. He will not get through John. He is in position. John has a hand that folds to a flop bet pretty often. Oh, and this is cool because Hefe just flops a flush. Glorious. He goes small enough to get fives to call. I wonder if a check back would be cool in this spot. Hefe's going to go big, though. Probably too big. Yeah, and John's laughing. Really? 400 bucks? Hefe's going to have to show it anyway. Flopping a flush with 7-deuce. Everyone owes him 50 bucks. He made an extra 250 on top of the 135 he made. Nice little haul for 7 deuce. Jack 10 offsuit in the small blind. Running right into ace king. Good fold, hero. John usually has one of the higher VPIPs in this game. He likes to see flops. He likes to play a lot of defense. But, yeah, everybody's VPIP is going to be up playing six-handed. Now here's a real hand to raise with. Wow, Benji usually calls with Queen 10 offsuit. It's a pretty lovely flop for Hero as he flops a combination draw. A flush draw and a straight draw. Top pair for Slick Rick is going to have to call this. You can't fold yet with a weak ace. There are a lot of draws out there that our Hero would be c-betting with. Turn is a brick 6. Not really a card that changes anything. I'd say it's pretty neutral, and with that much equity as a semi-bluff, I think our Hero wants to go bigger, or probably should go bigger. His draws brick out, and I do not think he's going to be able to get an ace to fold. There's just too many draws that bricked out. The villain is thinking about it. He does give up. Good check back. Oh, that was a draw to a straight flush. The 10 of hearts would have given a straight flush. I'm trying to think back. I do not know if I've seen a straight flush on this stream before. I probably have. We've been doing this for months. What was there, probably like 50 YouTube videos now of our streams? Oh, the same type of hand for our Hero, and I think he accidentally made it 100. Oh, but Benji's going real big. Out of position, goes 4x. I guess it's a normal standard size 3-bet. He's got the 7 deuce, but our Hero with the suited Broadway cards probably has to call. And this pot is out of control. Pot's too big. Big scandal here at Peaks live stream. This is interesting. Benji's probably going to start blasting off for really no apparent reason. He goes 1/4. I guess that's not blasting off. Anyway, 275. Second pair. Backdoor diamonds for our Hero. I don't think he can fold yet. Not to this sizing. Does make the call. Benji now comes up with a pair of deuces. if he's thinking about his entire 3-betting range, I got made fun of for talking about ranges by Seinfeld the other night. Anyway, this brick turn doesn't change anything, which Benji knows he can continue betting his thick value hands, which are ace, king, pocket aces, pocket kings, king, queen. But he still makes it a size that looks like he wants a call. This is going to put a lot of pressure on our hero, who would have loved to see a diamond on the turn. Queen Jack at this point is now starting to bluff catch. Oh, and he makes the right call. Our hero actually has incredible instincts. Ooh, and clubs get there. Benji unblocks the clubs. There's a lot of like Jack 10 that gets there. So Benji's turn bet bluffing range, a lot of it got there. And I don't know what that is. Can our hero bluff catch twice? This pot is enormous. 2.9K. Benji might just rip it in here. And our hero would have to make a giant hero call. He does go by our hero. Can he do it? Sweet Jesus, I'm nervous. Oh, he's going to do it, isn't he? When Benji thinks this long, he usually puts it in. That's what she said, graphics. I heard that. All in. There it is. Now, let's see here. God, how would you run through? That's too loud. Go away. So, do I even want to try to talk through defense frequency? I mean, our hero unblocks the clubs. He does block some Jack 10. That could come into consideration. Which of Benji's bluffs did not get there? Ace, Jack, offsuit. Ace, Jack suited. Could Benji ever do this with Queen 10 suited? Which there are 3 combos of. Do we want to do some math? Like, the pot has there's 500 less because effectively it's 1.9 in. So effectively it's 4.8 in the pot. Our hero's getting a little less than 2.5 to 1. He needs to be right 1 every 3 times. And I think this just comes down to a read and a leveling war. Eric is staring him down. This would be a hero effing call of the highest order. Benji's looking pretty content with his move here. He did make a big bluff with 7 deuce earlier. I'm wondering if our hero knows that he is capable of doing 3 streets of bluffing with 7 deuce. Oh God, I saw him almost flicking the call. Shit. I'm rooting for him. I really am. They're both friends of mine. But Benji deserves to get bluff caught once in a while, and this is a serious tanking that isn't inappropriate. So it is appropriate for our hero to be tanking this long. Oh God, he's picking up cards to fold. Oh God, and he puts it in. Yeah! Eric! What a fucking call! Oh, that's honestly incredible. He's getting 2.5 to 1. I think minimum defense frequency numbers. I'm not good at this at all. But he has to be in the like top 40% of his range. No, it's even less than that. It's like 35% of his range to make Benji'S bluffs not profitable. And I have no idea if Queen Jack is in that range. Incredible call. Call of the night. Jesus. I knew he had it in him. I honestly didn't, but that's what Benji's capable of, and apparently that call is what Eric's capable of. What a hero. He's earning his little poker name here. He's very duplicitous. He can be the ultra villain, or he can be a big hero. Way to go, bud. God, we just saw magic. My butt feels weird. Oh, and let's see how Benji responds to this emotionally. This will take an emotional toll, which is tough to say. I think everyone at the table is a little freaked out, honestly. Benji has to add back on as he just bluffed off most of his stack. Incredible. Incredible hand we just saw. Oh, man, I wish our table audio was working. And we're in the middle of a dealer change. And is that Kyle back from Canada? Well... Holy hell, Herbertson got here. We got a Herbertson. Jeez Louise. It's going to take me a second to get over that, but we're playing a $25 bomb pot, 41 hands into this thing. Does Kyle really need to be distracted by that right now? You know what I'm saying. Oh my God, I think we're going to be talking about that call for weeks. Years even. Our hero just has quads on top. He's at least going to get half of this. Clint with the trip eights. Eric's got a better eight. Oh, he might scoop the hell out of this. Is he on a little heater? Oh my God. Did you see him in that last hand? He was so close to folding. He had his cards in folding posture, and then last minute he just threw the chips in. Fascinating stuff. I think our hero's going to bet pot here and scoop that ass. Yeah, he gets snapped off and he's just dominating. Gaming Pro, you hate when the 7 deuce game is on? We get hands like that. How could you possibly hate that? And our hero's now up $4,000. Oh, 7 deuce suited. It should only pay out when it's 7 deuce offsuit, is what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that being used. Eric Hernandez, he said he had to leave at 9 earlier. If he left now, he'd be one big hell of a butthead. He probably has to cancel his plans, in all honesty. God, what a giant call. Benji does like to 3-bet most of the time with these suited Jack Kings. Shut up, Doug! And with this giant stack, they're both deep because Benji bought in to match the stack for 5.4K. There's a pair of 5s. Benji's in position. Rainbow, pretty disconnected board. There's a bunch of gut shot straight draws out there. Benji with the backdoor heart or backdoor diamonds and backdoor straight flush stuff. Our hero cannot assume that he has this much equity at 70%. And makes the call with a pair of 5s. It's hard to make a pair in this game. This is a 3-bet pot, and now it is less likely that Benji has a queen. Good check back, Benji. It's probably give up time, especially after getting hero called so hard. Oh, God, he gets bailed out. Our hero's pair of 5s gets counterfeited, and Benji's king high is good. That's sucky. Actually, sorry. Very finicky. Very finicky.
What was this?
It was, get away.
What? You're like a woman. Just tell me what you want.
No one bitches as much as you. Don't talk to me about womanliness. All right, everybody. I'm going to pee. And that means y'all get Stephen Mikey.
That's right.
Stevie Mikey.
T-Bin.
Hey, you too.
I thought I had a lipper. I can't. I gotta keep the game.
I have some if you want somebody.
Man, you're just the big guy for the bet trap.
All right, folks. I'm your guest commentator for the next 3 minutes. My name is Stephen Puntman. My real name, with an extra letter added. Dan had to go use the little girl's room after calling me the B word.
His boyfriend. That's what Dan says sometimes.
What?
That you're the boyfriend.
Whose boyfriend?
Yours. Dan's.
Dan's boyfriend? He says that?
No, somebody was saying that the other day about you.
That's weird. So Hefe is going to raise up the ace-8 and the small blind here. Gets 3-bet by Clint in the big blind. Eric wakes up with queens in the straddle. He is going to cold 4-bet to 1,000. I'm not sure the dynamic between Clint and Hefe thus far. If Clint's trying to make a move on him in position and Eric's taking advantage of it, possibly. Yeah. Clint doesn't want to continue there out of position with a mediocre holding. He's going to let it go.
smells like gumbo.
Slick Rick bumps up the ace-9 in the cutoff. No action. Takes down the pot. All right, are you good? Did you let it all out?
Oh, yes, I pee-peed.
Pee-pee in the pants.
Pants. That I did not. Well, you don't want to.
All right, guys, it was
Good game.
it was a pleasure.
Thank you, T-Bin.
It was a pleasure.
What do we got? Benji gonna throw away his box of pizza? I wonder. And he is super red after getting bluff caught that hard. Check. Check. This mic is kind of soft.
I don't know.
Why is this mic soft?
I can't see the cards.
What's going on with that microphone?
No, it's not good.
This mic's good. What's the deal?
Yeah, you're good.
Benji got in there with an ace-7. Trough or bowl? And he does bet that river for thin value and gets folded to... Oh, maybe I saw that wrong. John might have just paid him off there. It's tough to know. There's our Scott Herbertson with an old school Dallas Stars jersey on. That's badass. He has not played a stream in a long time. It's good to have him back. He's got some tip chips. He's got his fun little South Park figurine. I don't know that show very well, but I can imagine what that character's voice sounds like given his attire. God, Benji loves King Jack of Diamonds. But he's about to get 4-bet here by Slick Rick. Hefe's out of there. Don't know what he has. Slick Rick goes to 900. A bona fide tripling in a 4-bet pot in position. That is a big sizing. Bigger than what's typical, and Benji wants to fight. I'm not certain, but I want to say Benji should fold there out of position. He's absolutely dominated, especially now. Doesn't even have backdoor flush stuff. This is a wheel type of board. Rainbow wheelie. And with an ace and a good kicker, I can't think of why Slick Rick would check back. This pot is way too big for him to be calling King Jack of Diamonds. He probably could have continued with 8s, 9s, and 10s, and jacks and queens. Obviously, at least for one street. Good hand, Slick Rick. You got Benji to give you $600 with King Jack suited. My goodness. Scott Herbertson. A man of the horses. He trains and races horses. He owns horses. A horse owner. Shada, what do you say your dad does? Horse owner? Horse racer? He doesn't actually ride on them. Benji is tilted as... Oh man, I want to say... I want to say... what's the word? Testicular distension? Does that work? Where one of your balls hangs down way too low? I don't think I have that right. Anyway, here's another 4-bet bluff from Slick Rick. Pretty sure Slick Rick is like noticed the shade of red that Benji's face is, and that Benji is tilted as... What did I say earlier? Yeah, Benji, maybe pull back the reins a little bit and stop 3-betting when you probably shouldn't. No offense. I'm not being condescending. You're a much better player than me. Hey, everybody, that's my dad in the chat, Daniel Simone. I don't know what he's referring to. I'm just riffing, man. We got a late start tonight. I think we're almost halfway through this thing, and I'm really, really happy with what I have seen so far. Short-handed 5-10 with this lineup has been electric. Yeah, Doug, I think Benji might be on some version of tilt after getting bluff caught so hard. Scott's to defend his big blind with Jack 9 of clubs. Not a bad flop for Scott. Good point, Dad. Good point. Oh, hell yeah. Scott called a small bet from Benji on the flop. Gets a fun turn for his big button range and leads out with an open-ended straight draw. Way to go, Scott. I don't know if Benji just doesn't believe him or thinks that his king high is still good, which it is. Oh, and Benji had a gut shot to a 9 and gets there. Benji, dirty dog. I can get called by 2 pairs and sets, so I can go pretty big here. Look at all those blacks coming out. Good God, Benji. Greedy? He had his pizza. And Scott snap folds his top pair. Yeah, folks, I was wrong about Benji's call on the turn. He had a gut shot that I missed. An inside straight draw to a 9. Yeah, Scott sniffed that out with no time at all. Man, top players tonight have been Eric and Slick Rick at this point in the night. Slick Rick is a crusher. I think he plays like 25-50 in Houston sometimes. I think he also crushes like 500 no limit online. I might be wrong about that. Anyway, I'd be terrified to play against him. I'm a wuss. Clint's not at the table for his ace-king offsuit. That's probably a mistake. Hefe, $100 from the small blind. Did John just show Clint's ace-king to the table? Yeah, probably. This is Peaks Dallas Live on delay. My name's Dan Simone. They let me hog the microphone every night. Very grateful, very blessed. Eric the provider is a good man. Suited ace 10 for Slick Rick. Gets a pretty dominated hand to call. King Jack offsuit from Hefe in the cutoff. Now our hero's just feeling himself. Does Eric Hernandez feel that he's deep enough to win a giant pot if clubs come out? He hits his 4. Wheel draw for John. Multi-way Slick Rick is always checking this with Hefe behind. Not a great flop for ace 10 suited. And what is our turn? Board pairs. I think Eric Hernandez might start to think that he's good here, but the turn checks through also, and Hefe hits his king. Can really get value from a worse king, and that's about it. You see that King Jack offsuit check back river a lot multi-way because there's just some trappy people out there. Man, I can't stop thinking about that call that Eric made. Hey, Dad, if you just tuned in, you got to rewind it like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Benji and Eric got in a monster. We're flying through hands. Hand 51 in 2 hours. 25 hands an hour is pretty good, I think. Oh, and these two are going at it again. Benji with the best of it this time, but a gut shot for Hero. Benji has one of the 9s. And Benji does check back, flop in 9. Oh, God. Okay. Now Benji's open-ended, and this bet's not going to work. A delayed C-bet for $50. Benji's just going to let him bluff at it. He knows damn well he's got the best hand right now. Flush draws get there. He would always expect Eric to bet a flush draw on the flop. Benji knows he's good and is going to try to get thin value from like a pair of jacks. Snap fold from our hero, Eric. And Benji takes down $135. I would like to see cumulative winnings chart pretty soon because Benji is probably stuck like $3,000. Oh, 3,500. Woof. Oh, damn, man. All right, we got some movement. Oh, God. Oh, God. I shouldn't have looked at the other screen. Oh, good Lord. All right, no one turn this off. Big forward tease, folks. 15 minutes. Monster pots. Scandalous big pots. Peaks Dallas live on delay, home with a hot deck. Jordan Spieth disqualified for signing incorrect scorecard at the Genesis Invitational.
And then Tiger withdrew because he got sick.
Tiger withdrew for illness? Golf!
How much is he at?
Golf madness. All right. Did Hefe just limp under the gun with Jack 10 of hearts? A big 6S rate, 6 times the... Jesus, 1 second. Let me start over. Anywho, Scott's got ace queen of diamonds. That's a big hand. Runs right into ace king offsuit. This could be a bloodbath. Clint already has a rebuy sitting behind him on the rail. That is not in play, I don't think. I think at this point, Jack 10 of hearts probably should fold with Scott behind him. Oh, Scott just rips it in. Oh my goodness. Scott likes to go twice. Oh, there's a queen for Scott. That's gross. Clint has a spade. Scott gets the top board unless they just went once. Oh, Lord. They did just go once. Scott just got a full double up with ace queen versus ace king. Filthy. Just absolutely gross. Triple gross. Oh, Scott sat down like 5 hands ago and already doubled up. Sounds delightful. Very unlucky for Clint. I don't think he deserves that. But the poker gods are cruel. Unfair cruelty is part of the game. What's happening here? Will Clint now start going on a rampage after getting stacked? Has this just... Hey, Graphics, has this just turned into a 5-10-25 game? Just mandatory straddle?
It's not mandatory, but they've just been doing it.
Oh, it says 3 blind. Third blind. Oh, nice. Okay. Anyway, Hefe's got a 4. He's going to make a call. Clint's pair of 7s is way out in front with 90%. I think this turn goes check, check, though. Oh, look at Slick Rick enjoying a nice fancy drink with oranges in it. That was $5. Pretty sure both these guys are just going to take their showdown value, and Clint is going to win. No, I take it back. Hefe's going to bluff small at this. What better can he get to fold? 5s and 6s. For $140, a 7 calls you. Oh my God. Man, Hefe must have made that look really good because he got a bluff through for $140. Hell yeah. All right, Kyle, you're dealing pretty well. Let's see if you have any demerits by the end of your down. Taking it out of your tips. This is hand 54 in Benji's 5-10 game. Benji, he's gotten 7 deuce more than anyone tonight, and he's probably going to try to jam this through. Slick Rick's going to 3-bet to 300 with queens, as he should. Oh, Benji, you don't have to get yourself in trouble every time, bud. He will not get in trouble this time. Slick Rick should be betting this flop pretty much always. Oh, Benji, I feel bad now, bud. If you get mad at me, I'm sorry, but you are tilting so hard. I mean, obviously you would start to say that this is a bad card for Slick Rick's exact hand, and that Benji has a lot of clubs that would continue on the flop. I mean, not that many, like Jack 10. Benji does have some Ace 9 suited. King Queen, King Jack would call the flop. Possibly bet the turn. Slick Rick is so much well versed in spots like this than I am, and my instinct is going to say that he's not. He's just going to go into check calling mode. He's seen Benji do this with, he's seen him play some 7 deuce pretty hard. He's not folding out queens yet. This is actually a good card for Slick Rick, as it establishes that Benji will have less kings. Benji is at the absolute bottom of his range. Is he going to do something insane here? Playing the 7-deuce game too hard. Getting himself into trouble. I'm pretty sure since Slick Rick has the queen of clubs, he'll have to call off to a big bet if Benji goes with this. Oh, Benji gives up. Good give up, buddy. You saved yourself a lot of money there. Benji needs a Benny's. You talking benzos? You talking like a Zanny? Dude, I want a Zanny. Some Mars bars. Oh, we're still at it. We're still in the fight. We're still in the battle. Benji's going to have to cool it on the suicide bluffs, and he did that time. Because Slick Rick was going to snap him off. Pop that booty. Oh, yeah, cool thing about Peaks. It's nonprofit, and it's half a bar. It's the cheapest bar you've ever been to. Any beer is $2, even the good ones. IPA stuff. And then any of the liquor drinks, top shelf liquor stuff, $5 a piece. And they'll make you fancy. Make you fancy shit. Benji is in another little 3-bet battle fight. And gets out-flopped by Hefe here. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. Calls with 10s. He has one out. Oh, no. Benji now knows that it's less likely that Hefe has a king. And might think that his 10s are good. He also think that Hefe might check a king at some frequency. But Hefe goes a little more than half pot. I think this is 700. But it's 8. Oh, poor kid. Benji likes to play big pots. I think his new name's going to be Big Pot Benji. Oh, wow. Hefe does not have a lot of 8-9 in his range, but he also doesn't have a lot of King 8. Oh, he just snap rips it. $16.5, 21, 350. This is less than a pot-sized jam. Benji's going to be getting 2-1, a little better than 2-1. And this is a gross spot with 10s, honestly. He's still so red, my sweet boy. Sweet personal pepperoni pizza boy. It's hard to know what to say in these huge spots because these guys play against each other so much and have so much hand history that these guys just start leveling each other all the time. Try to get live reads. And honestly, I'm out of my element. I don't think Benji's at like the top 40% of his range that gets here on the river. Oh, no. Jeez. Has to make the call. I mean, he doesn't have to, but I think that's a tough fold. These guys do bluff each other so often. But that's a full double up for Hefe, who's now up to like $7,000. He got stacked earlier, so he's probably only up like 3-ish. Three betting with King 8 of clubs and turning trips. It's essentially poker heaven. You say poker heaven if gambling's a sin? No religion at the table, Daniel. I don't want to see the cumulative winnings charts at this point. Benji might be stuck like 7. Ayah! Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We had another glitch with our table audio. And it's just me. That game out on the main floor is really good. I'm going to play that later. Slick Rick has 9s in the cutoff. Goes to 75. We're broadcasting to 13 kick-ass people. Oh, Benji's stuck. $7.3 thousand. He might have won $7K on Tuesday. That was a crazy night, apparently. Ooh, Kyle, that's a demerit. He got shown a 9 of spades. Benji likes that card. Your wife's boyfriend. That is a Reddit poker meme phrase that I'm familiar with. It probably stemmed from like GameStop bets. Benji's doing some light defending. He had the double straddle on. He looks bummed out. He has the best hand by a mile right now. And he's going to make a big-ass bet. Semi-protection. His pair of 3s can get called by flush draws. Like some backdoor spade stuff. I don't know what's tilting and what isn't at this point. Can we glom every move that he makes into... yeah, Wall Street Bets. The GameStop thing. I watched that movie. Interesting.
Dumb money.
Yeah, Dumb Money. Hodl, Diamond Hands. I had a bunch of friends buy GameStop. I think they held. I don't think they made any money. Whatever. I don't know how stocks work. Oh, now the $50 is going to be on like every hand now. Benji triples it, and Slick Rick in position wants to defend 10-8 offsuit. Well, this is kind of a fun flop for these exact hands. Benji checks top pair. Slick Rick has 4 outs. There's some dead nines. I think Benji's just trying to trap. He's changing up his strategy slightly. A little confused by this. He's got a 90% hammer lock on this hand. He's trying to let Slick Rick get there. Hit an 8 or a 9 would be gross. Bink? Nah, it's an ace. Benji's still good, and Slick Rick is not going to fall for this. He has 10 high. Okay, Benji, a big smile, you sandbagging son of a bitch. All right, these V-pips have condensed, maybe? Everybody's sub 40. Clint's sub 20. He's actually card dead. He made some marginal folds earlier. But other than that, this game has been electric. I have a feeling that our hero, Eric Hernandez, might turn down the aggression frequency since he's up piles. Can take less risks. I think that's called up tilted. I might be proven wrong right here. Nope, he's got kings. A little more than a tripling. And Clint makes the fold. Good fold, Clint. You were in a 90-10 situation. The game out on the main floor is really good, and I'm excited to play it later. That's an announcement. Yeah, I'm going to keep plugging his spot because it's actually really good and I enjoy the content. But everyone go follow Slick Rick on the socials and YouTube. I mean, keep watching this YouTube, but... and like and subscribe, I guess. We don't have that many viewers. I think we should have more. It's a good game. The stream's decent. Sometimes we don't have table audio. But, oh, I should have told Slick Rick to share this on Instagram. I'm a fool. I think he's got like 20,000 followers or something. Our hero's up 3.9, Hefe's up 3.5. Benji's stuck 7.3. The money is moving around tonight. And honestly, it's uncomfortable. Peaks. Big Pots Peaks. Home of the hot deck. I need to think of some more catchphrases. Oh, this is going to screw stuff up, Kyle. Yeah, you got to auto post him, buddy. So he's in for 10. Scott can straddle for 25. What the hell is Kyle doing? How does this get confused? It's pretty much when Kyle deals, isn't it? Anyway, we're all poker friends. Oh, Scott gets a walk on the straddle with ace king offsuit. Unfortunate. Tell him not to do this. Tilty as hell. Oh, Benji boy. How are you going to get out of this one, Benji? It's going to take some grit. Oh, hell yeah, Slick Rick. Did y'all see what I saw? They just traded drinks. What a mystery. Suited connector for John. A suited ace for Benji. Benji just bullies John to death. I don't know why John sits there, honestly. But he makes the call. They're playing a 3-bet pot. Diamonds over diamonds would be grody. $540 in the pot. Hello! John's flopping straights. He checks in flow. Gonna let Benji bluff into him. John's face is considering a check raise. This is a dangerous board. Connected. Mid. 2 spades. There's the raise. Benji is gone. Yeah, I'm out and I'm gone. I'm telling y'all, I keep it on and on. Listen, all y'all, it's a sabotage. Ooh, when did this song get on the playlist? Oh, Juanito. Oh, holy hell. I take my eyes off the table for 1 second and the $100 straddle's on. And Slick Rick just smelling all that dead money out there in the cutoff. He's going to take King 10 offsuit for a raise. He's running into Ace King offsuit. So John is going to put a big bet in here. There it is. Straight up 4X's it And Slick Rick gets out of the way real fast. Almost $400 in dead money for John in the $100 straddle was on from Benji. This game is getting out of control. There are some quite stuck fellows at the table. And everyone wants to just fight each other. Fighting for money. What a noble trade we've taken up. This is Peaks Dallas Live on delay. My name is Dan Simone. And if anyone in the chat is tired of me tired of hearing that, I'm sorry. All I can do is apologize. There's only 17 of you. Can't make everybody happy, huh? John is just going to limp with ace deuce of hearts into Benji. I think that's safe, especially when you see an ace in the window. Going to check a weak ace. Benji is going to take that as an opportunity to bet and get called. Benji's king 3 off, so just start checking. But Benji's stuck and possibly tilted. Tilted as a monkey. He's drawing dead. I mean, this is an airball bluff, and now John trips up on the river, and this will just go check, check. Thanks, buddy. Look at this winnings chart. As they say in Austin, there's 2 guys throwing this party. I don't know how that would make anyone feel if they were stuck $7 grand. Oh, I'm paying for a party. I'm paying for everyone else's party. Slick Rick elects to not put the $50 straddle on. That's reasonable. Did Hefe just look at the cameras after limping in with 3 deuce suited? That's a funny move. What? Oh, sorry, everybody. Some strange and bizarre happenings out there in real time. I'm on a 15-minute delay. The visuals you're seeing and the audio you're hearing are not happening contemporaneously. I really like saying that for some reason. Ooh, a flush draw for Hefe now. Really is. Very fun word.
I love using disingenuous.
All right. Second pair in a gut shot straight draw. Our hero makes the call. A lot of outs for Hefe. A king is not one of them, but he can bluff at this. He's at the absolute bottom of his range on this river. And that is a bluff that would have worked. Actually, I don't know anymore. Defenestrate. Yeah, that's good. Hey, do I know you? Are you known to this establishment? Way to go, Kyle. I believe in you, bud. Big ass hand for Scott. Double ass. Double assies. That's what I call him. I'm not married. Sounds like I'm married. I'm here every night. Scott goes big. He goes to 100. No one has anything to call with, I don't think. Ooh, Slick Rick does. This is what they call the crackers. The ace crackers. Oh. Top set for Scott. He likes to fast play strong hands. I don't blame him. Second pair for Slick Rick. No backdoor hearts, though. He wants to hit a 5 or a... That would be bad. Anyway, he's drawing dead. Yes. That's the Scott I know. Overbet the turn and show top set. A respectable man in the community. Oh, Benji, no. Hiya. Benji's VPIP has ballooned to 39%. That's probably way higher than it usually is for him. We're playing a $25 bomb pot, and I think quite a bit at WinStar several years ago. Closer to DFW, but haven't card room yet. Oh, yeah. I played 2-5 at WinStar quite a bit, like 8 years ago. I was probably playing mostly 1-2. Nah, I was about half and half.
When you were a young lad.
When I was a much younger fellow. Wait, so wife's boyfriend closer to DFW airport? Because we're pretty damn close. We're heart of Dallas, Design District. And I don't know if you've ever heard me say this. We have free snacks. All right, here's a double board bomb pot. Hand 67. We're almost 3 hours into this thing. Oh man, Benji just keep getting redder. Yeah. This is a smaller room, but every game's like a home game. It's kind of like a home game house / bar. A lot of fun regulars. A lot of fun streams. We streamed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 1-2 on Thursday, 5-10 Friday, 1-2 Saturday, 2-5 Sundays.
He was asking how much pot was.
Clint just asked how much was in the pot and then snap folded. A funny move. 2 of these guys are chopping. I haven't been paying attention to what's going on here. It's too many cards to process. Quads?
Yeah.
Our hero flops quads. Pots it. I don't know how Benji can call here. Or Hefe, really. Hefe's got the wheel on top. 5 deuce wheel. There's no flush up there. Yeah, he can probably call. Benji can't. Yeah. This goes chop, chop, chop cheese. Don't forget to show all 4 cards, boss man. Hefe's up about 3.5K. Hero's up about, God, maybe 5. That's a big night. He made a monster call. And he's going to tell all his friends about. He got one over on Benji boy. Oh, hell. We're down to 11 people. Shit. We really need table audio. No one likes listening to me this much. Jack 10 of hearts for Scott. His opening raise size is usually like one more chip than everyone else's. He likes to build big pots. He does not like getting called by trashy hands. That is my experience with Scott Herbertson, who's up almost $2,000. Juanito! Really pretty hand for our hero. I'd say this is the most feminine hand in the deck. And Hefe makes a call with 10-8 suited, which I like. Ooh, and he flops an open-ended straight draw. 2 overs and backdoor flush stuff for our hero. This could be a fun pot. Really? Yes, yes, yes. A range bet of 60 and a snap call. Our hero turns top pair. Flush draw gets there. And this could kill a lot of action for... All right, it just could, like, slow Hefe down, and he might fold here even. So it's weird when this happens. Yeah, he does fold here. You don't want to be drawing dead to a flush already. You don't want to put money in the pot when you're possibly already drawing dead. And then on top of that, a lot of times Eric would have had a spade in his hand, so a chunk of Eric's outs are no good. John Harris has a rack out for some reason. I don't think I've ever seen him leave early. He's not particularly stuck. Benji's still at it with his very aggressive 3-betting schemes. Our hero makes the appropriate call. John does wear some funny t-shirts. Gucci shirt with the Mickey Mouse on it. Oh, this is kind of a gross flop. Benji flops top and bottom, and a top pair middle kicker for hero, who cannot fold yet. Five of spades brings in a double flush draw. And some straights get there that probably shouldn't be in Benji's range. Actually, they probably never would be. But Benji's hand is now incredibly strong. 2 pair and a flush draw. He's going to overbet this pot even though he blocks one of the flush draws real bad. He's polarized pretty hard, so this looks bluffy. With about half value, half bluff. Our hero might get in trouble here. Oh, God. Oh, no. Benji's night gets worse. Benji's 2 pair just gets counterfeit on the river, and our hero outkicks him. Sweet baby Jeeba. Front door clubs get there. Benji checks back. He can't believe it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Stop kicking him, everybody. He's already been kicked enough. What am I going for there? Simpsons thing? I don't know, but that man's going to need something stronger than champagne. He's still in the fight. One very admirable thing about admirable. Good Lord. Admirable. Benji never packs up his bag. He knows he's good enough to fight himself out of a hole. It folds around to Clint in the big blind. He's going to take his ace for a raise. Yeah, John is racked up with his Gucci shirts and his side bag. This is an incredibly wide defend for Eric Hernandez. He's feeling like he can play some pots in position. He's on his game. Feeling the flow. But ace 8 high with no pair. It's just going to give up. Juanito! Thank you. From the Bellows.
You remember the original Jungle Book animated?
Yeah.
Reminds me of when Blue yells, Bakira!
Ooh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, this night will go down as a Benji bloodbath night. Very gruesome. Very scary. Clint's been a little caged up in this configuration right in front of Eric and Benji. Our hero's up 5,000. Benji's now down 8.4. This is going to be a very tough loss to stomach. Can y'all hear that out there? The games on the main floor are going insane for some reason. I want to go tear that up later. Nice. No, really, where's Juan? What the hell's going on? And with John Harris leaving, we're down to 6 players. It's the best hand Benji's seen in a while. He's at least going to get a little value from 5s for now. Thanks, buddy. The tiny flop C-bet takes care of things. Benji gets a little bit back. $80 doesn't make a big difference when you're stuck 8,000. We're already at hand 74. Clint is starting to fold more aggressively. Being card dead sucks. Benji in the small blind with 4s raises, takes down $35. That's 0.5% of his losses. All right, Clint, put the 50 on. Benji and Rick have about 100 big blinds. Rick goes 4x. Take down that dead money with a jack 9 of diamonds. Clint has to defend here with a suited king. He's dominating Slick Rick for the moment, but who's going to flop best? Middling connected 2-heart flop. Clint with a second pair and backdoor spades. I don't think Slick Rick's but he's going to be putting too much more money in this pot. He does somehow have 32% equity. 5, 6, 7. Oh, he's got a gut shot to an 8. So he has 8 outs right now. Oh, Lord, that's Grant. Grant's drinking tonight. The delayed C-bet for Slick Rick is going to represent a queen. Or some other things that check back the flop. Excuse me, he is out of position. Clint folds a pair of 6s here. And I hope he doesn't mind me saying so. But you can go on a certain kind of tilt when you're stuck and kind of go into your little turtle shell. No offense. I just heard Galfon say this once, where you tighten up and wait for good hands to try to make your money back. Some people go wild and crazy when they're stuck, and some people get a little tight. It's totally natural. Oh, and he's aggressively folding Queen 10 offsuit on the $25 straddle. This is getting fun. Oh, I take this back because Slick Rick made it $150 on the button with 10 deuce suited. Second pair for Hero. Slick Rick is c-betting for 1/3 pot, a little less even, with air, complete air. And now it's give up time, pretty much any card. A deuce has showdown value and should check back. There it is. This pot's decently big enough that this King of Spades could be a decent card for Slick Rick to bluff at this pot with. But I am wrong. This is Peaks Dallas Live. My name's Dan. Playing six-handed. Benji's game. The big story of the night. Benji stuck and tilted. I hope he's not sensitive to me announcing that. And if you want to go scroll back through this stream, the biggest hand of the night is that dude right there, our hero, bluff catching a pot-sized jam from Benji while Benji had 7 deuce. And our hero is our big winner for the night. Probably got about an hour left. A quarter of the stream left, and so much has happened so far. We're down to six-handed. We've had some guys get stacked and leave. But now with the $50 straddle on, these pots could get too big. Does Scott really have a Nobu hat on? He's rich. And he 4X's it to 200 on the button with Queen Jack offsuit. Gonna at least get looked up by nines, probably 3-bet. Clint shopping out a 3-bet with nines, praying to God he doesn't run into a big hand behind him. That's not one of them. Queen deuce is a fold. Oh my God, how did I call this out? I had a premonition that Clint might run into a monster right behind him. He had to get through 3 people, and Benji's luck might turn around because he's sitting on red aces and is going to make this big, I think. Damn, dude, I don't know. If there's a spot to trap with aces, it's possibly this one. Because you might bring Scott along. Nah, Benji's getting raised, chips out. Goes to 1,500. No effing way Scott's this. And Clint only has 1,800 back. Does Clint want to play for his whole stack with 9s? Benji called 4 bets with aces, kings, queens, jacks, ace, king suited, possibly ace, queen suited. And then you got to throw in the 7 deuces. 9 is getting crushed by 10s plus, flipping with ace, king, and ace, queen. You just don't beat much of his value hands. I think at this price, this might just be a fold. Either way, it's really uncomfortable. You're going to be playing for your whole stack, right? It'd be a disaster to make this call because most of the flops are going to have an overpair on it and then get jammed on and have to call off because you're too short. You don't have enough money behind to fold. This is a... I don't even think this is a jam or fold spot. These guys know Benji really well at this point in time. But Clint's in the blender on this one. He's a sharp guy. But Benji can do this with 7 deuce, so it's always a tough spot. This is a big 5-10 game on Friday nights, our big game of the week. It also runs on Tuesdays off stream. It gets equally as ridiculous. A lot of money moves around. Good fold, Clint. Good fold, buddy. Benji's never going to show. But Benji made some money back here. I think Clint made it 400. Anyway, Benji gets 500 bucks back. That's not nothing. Herbertson. I really like being able to make friends with all kind of different people. Herbertson is one of the really good dudes in the game. Eric Hernandez is just a villain. Mad villainy. Pre-flop raises Benji at the top of this list. Herbertson does not put the $50 straddle on, which I like. I kind of want everyone to have more stack to work with. This means more bluffing in general, I think. And aces now for Slick Rick, who is such a cool, calm, collected customer. Doesn't give off a lot of information. Kind of just gives off good, happy vibes at the table. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Anyway, he doesn't win too much with aces here or there. I wonder how many hands we played. There it is. 81. That's nice. Yeah, I feel bad. I do think Clint's getting pretty frustrated with how card dead he's been. It's really hard not to get frustrated when you can't find a hand to play. A lot of spades for Eric Hernandez. They're both named Eric. Turns his flush. Hefe just has king high, so not a lot to get value from. And that's why our hero checked back his flush, I believe. And still can't get a call from king high on the river, which you wouldn't expect to. Look at those chip counts. $25 straddles on from Clint, and our hero, ace-10 offsuit, six-handed, goes to 75. He's effectively in the low jack. I take that back. He's effectively in the hijack and can absolutely open with ace-10 offsuit, I believe. I'm not a big charts guy, but I don't think Eric is either. Benji's still at the top of our VPIP chart. Oh no. Man, this game has been brutal tonight. Benji's got the $50 on. Folds around a Scott in the small blind who is ace-jack offsuit. I expect him to raise. Yeah, he goes really big. Excuse me, the $50 straddle's on, so it looks like he went to 135? 250. Oh, and this is the best hand Clint has seen in hours. Straight up coin flip right now, and neither connects. I think check on this flop is good. Scott now with a gut shot. And might consider that his ace high is still good. But doesn't connect at all and lets Clint take this down. I mean, he didn't have a pair. He had a gut shot to a wheel, but did not want to pay to see it. hand, 84, folding around a lot of trash. Ace queen for our hero. He has had a ton of nice hands to play with tonight. Running very well. He just limps this one from the big blind, hoping Benji might raise him. And this is the first time he's limped pre-flop tonight, I think. No one has anything. Neither of them have a spade. And this is going to be a weird little hand that Benji can't even put 25 bucks in. Eric did win the minimum there. Excuse me, the maximum. With ace queen offsuit, won the maximum. Hefe not at the table for his king 10. Run back, Hefe. Ah, Bubba. Our hero with another opening hand to raise with. In a straight up flip with Slick Rick, who flops top pair. Gut shot to a king for our hero, has 3 outs. I think there's a little bit of a snafu. Slick Rick did not check back. Now he does. And this will just check down. His ace is good. That's a demerit. All right. That is an old school Mike Modano jersey. I wonder if that's Game of Fish. Herbertson likes playing for round numbers. Goes to 100. Ace Jack hearts on the button for hero. He is getting so many hands to play. The card distribution has been a little uneven tonight. I don't think Scott wants to mess around with this. Yeah. Another pot goes our hero's way. He's up about $5,500. Oh, weird. Okay. I don't know how you do that. Oh, that's how. He's in 6. Here's a rare hand for Clint to play. Pocket 9s again. Last time he ran into Benji's aces. And he's going to get 3-bet by Benji again. This time with a not as strong hand as aces, that's for sure. He's out of position, but we'll call this time. Benji hits another ace.
How much did he raise to?
$250 from Benji. Graphics are catching up, but Clint makes the call with 9s. Benji knows it's on him. Ace 10 offsuit could be a check back in this spot. Graphics are glitched out right now. They could catch up here in a second, but that was a queen of spades that rolled off on the turn. Benji does not want to check back the turn and bets. The pot was 515 after the pre-flop. They bet 200, so the pot is 900 right now, and Benji just put out a half pot size bet. It looked like 450. Man, Benji's been putting Clint in these spots all night. At some point, I'd be tired of getting pushed around. Give him a 9 one time. Is this a spot for Clint to bluff? No, you would not think so, but 9-10 is double gutted. $9-10 double gutted would have called a bet on the turn. This pot is much bigger than 515. I wouldn't be surprised if Clint rips this here. But Benji does. Ah, man, I just don't understand things anymore. Benji blocks 9-10. The only thing I can say about this is Benji must be certain that his ace-10 is good. And that he's not what really screwed this hand up visually is that we did not have the flop turn and the flop and turn bets entered into the pot. So my just general assumption would be that Clint has about a pot-sized bet left. And is being put to the test with third pair, at least. God, he's going to pay Benji off again.
It's not my night. I don't know why I did that.
Benji gets max value out of kind of like a thin value type of hand. Those are some of the things that confuse me the most. He gets bluff caught a lot when he doesn't have like a super nutted hand or like the bottom of his range for a bluff. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain that well, but yeah, Benji, he needed that pot. I know that. Now he's probably only stuck like 6,000. Still red though. Damn, Slick Rick is good. He knows he can call that hand on the button. He can just flat it. He actually has 36% equity. And hits a jack, and now he's got 70. He outflops Benji that has a gut shot to a 10 or an ace. Benji gets there immediately, obviously, but now Slick Rick has a flush draw to go along with his pair and open-ended straight draw. This could get interesting right here. Benji is definitely not going to check Broadway right now. He does not. He overbets it, goes to 300. Very cool spot. Slick Rick cannot fold. Bricks out. Did not hit his flush. Benji's Broadway is good. right, too much silence, but yeah, Benji could go really big again. He likes big pots. He likes big bets. This is a giant overbet if he puts all this in. Good Lord. And I think what's going on is that Benji unblocks pretty much every good two-pair combo that would call here. Slick Rick's never paying him off with a jack, and I don't know, he's much better than me. I think if you were to bluff catch with a jack here, you probably don't want to have hearts. That makes sense, right? You'd rather have Benji have those hearts. Specifically the Queen of Hearts. I do feel like I want to say that Slick Rick has been very perceptive to how much tilting Benji has been doing. And that might be what's going on with this slight tank. There is a piece of information that might be a sticking point for Slick Rick here, is that Benji checked flop, where you would likely surmise that at some frequency Benji c-bets his ace queens. Yeah, this might be one of those hands that I ask Slick Rick about later. Now he's honestly considering a call here. This is not some sort of posture. I think it's a double-edged sword to have the Queen of Hearts, where you block straights, but you also block Benji's bluffs. And having the jack means that you block some of his full houses. At least pocket jack's worth. That might check flop. A genuine consideration for a massive bet on this river. I like to go with the phrase hyper-polarized, because this bet is over 2x. I don't have the table audio, but I think Slick Rick is asking for a randomizer. He flipped the coin and hasn't decided yet. That means he did not leave it up to the randomizer. He's using it as a litmus test on what he wants to do. This is a giant pot. It's one of the longest tanks of the night. Benji is still beat red. And he does end up folding. Good fold, Slick Rick. But yeah, a tricky spot. I think Benji's check on the flop and Slick Rick blocking ace queen made that spot trickier than it appeared on the surface. Let's go with that. Oh, your wife's boyfriend. Slick Rick will actually go back through these streams and stream him watching them and do like solver analysis on the hands that he plays. Like if you go look up some of his YouTube videos, there's like post-stream analysis where he talks through the hands he plays, and it's really, really educational. He's an incredibly good player. He's like a, full-time pro. Has won some big tournaments. He told me before the stream started that he was in Vegas like pretty much all of November and December, and then took off January. His YouTube name is Google Slick Rick Poker. Scott puts in a big 3-bet with Jack 10 offsuit. Might be getting a little bored. That's Benji's 4th mimosa. I bet he had someone run out and buy him orange juice. Scott gets lucky and flops top pair. That's nice. And this will just be a bet fold. Well, I'm wrong. Slicker hangs on for one more street. He's drawing to 1 out, but might have some intention of bluffing at this. Scott bet 375 on this turn, and that seems like a bad call. Oh, to answer the rest of your question, most guys will go, like, that's why playing on the stream is appealing to 5-10 players like this. It's the easiest way to have your hand history reviewable instead of, a lot of pros will like write down all their hand history in their phones. I used to do that, but I don't really study anymore. All right, everybody, we got about 20 minutes of action left here at Peaks Dallas Live. Home of the big pot scandal. Or the pots got too big. $50 straddles on. A lot of these guys have about 5K. Benji's back up to 8.3, even though he's stuck like 6. And then Clint has just rebought for a 3rd time for about $2,700, it looks like. Oh, yeah, I miscounted that stack pretty bad. He added 5K. Oh, Luke did it. Yeah. All right, graphics are catching up, it looks like, and I don't know what's going on, but here we go. I'm really loving this Benji versus Slick Rick battle that's been happening all night. I think Slick Rick told me that he's going to be playing the stream much more often. He played it a couple times, like 3 or 4 months ago, and I didn't know who he was. And honestly, he was kind of card dead the first couple times. So I didn't get to observe all of his moves. That's why I just sit here the whole time, all night, just observing moves. Hefe's back at the table with 4 deuce of hearts that goes in the muck. Scott will likely raise with ace-jack offsuit. He knocked over his figurine. Gracias. And Scott's going to take that to dead money, $40. We haven't seen a 7 deuce in a while, and I'm really surprised that Benji hasn't called to put the knit game on one time tonight. Not once. Could be a function of playing a little shorthanded, and our hero's up 5.5. Clint is stuck 6.3. Ouch. We've got about 15 minutes left. But we've gotten through a ton of hands tonight. King 10 offsuit on the button's worth a raise to 75. This could probably go either way, but he's got black chips in his hand, and he's going to 3-bet ISO, bluff. Just making good moves. I think Slick Rick's up 1.5K. Ooh, now it's ace. Whoop. Not sure what I just saw. Probably didn't see it correctly. There's always a chance that the little microchips don't read 100% accurately. Clint has top pair here on the button, and Benji is bluffing with air. Yay! Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I don't know what Benji's doing. I rarely do. It looks like he wants to bluff at this. I don't know why he tries to bully Clint. He gets snapped off with an 8. Good call, Clint. Clint just won 765 off of Benji, who's already stuck a lot, making kind of airball bluffs with queen high. I mean, that is a way to get unstuck. No offense. All right, something's going on here. It looks like a $50 straddle from Benji, who is always trying to play bigger. Tiny little guy plays giant pots. It might be a complex. Yeah, Hefe out of position, put a good chunk raise in. Chunky raise. Gets called by the double straddle. Benji outflops Hefe again. I don't know if this is a board I would be c-betting into Benji. I'm probably wrong about that. But Hefe at this point just has ace high and backdoor hearts. Benji with second pair is not going anywhere. And unless Hefe hits a heart or an ace here, he's probably going to shut down. Hello! I've always been uncertain about this, but even though it's a 4, you pick up equity when you pick up a flush draw. And you either check or double barrel bluff. Hefe's taking his equity, and he gets Benji to check back. Can he hit heart? Oh, no, but he hits an ace. Hefe gets lucky on the river, hits an ace. He had about 11 outs, and this goes check, check. Hefe probably could have got some thin value on the river. If he goes small, Benji might have to call off with a jack. You never know. You never know. You can put it in a simulator and let the computer tell you what's right. If you're so inclined. This is Peaks Dallas Live. We are running up on it. And I love that this has been six-handed most of the night. I love that the $50 straddle's on. And I love this lineup for Max Payne battles. People say Max Payne a lot. And it's been a really painful night for a couple players here. I'm going to deem this Friday night stream, on whatever date it is, the Benji Bloodbath. He's really run into it. An incredibly cool flop for Clint's exact hand, and he checks it. Slick Rick was the pre-flop raiser, effectively under the gun, and Clint was the $50 straddle that just defended with Queen Jack. He is just going to let Slick Rick bet at this, but it's give up time for Slick Rick. I don't see how he could bet his hand a second time. He has all the ace kings, and that queen is probably good for him to barrel with. I'm completely going back on what I just said 2 sentences ago. But I can see his hand. He is playing his range and his opponent's range. He has more sets. He has all the ace king. He expects Clint to 3-bet Queen Jack suited at some frequency pre-flop. In this exact... Oh, God. All right. He can chop with a king. Clint's hand is best, and this is a pretty big pot to be sitting in with threes. Damn, dude. Slick Rick's at the very bottom of his range. He understands spots like this like 1,000 times better than I do. So take what I say with a grain of salt, because he rips. Wow. This is Slick Rick's big-ass bluff of the night. My God. And I've probably spoken about this the wrong way for about 5 minutes. Because there's a 4-liner to a king. Clint loses to any king, and Slick Rick was the pre-flop raiser. Oh, don't show that, Slick Rick. Oh, he did show. It's just, oh, goodness. Filthy. Oh, my. Oh, my God. All right, so our last hand is hand 100. Is that accurate, graphics? Did I see a 101 on there? That means, folks, that we only have 3 hands left. Possibly 4. I don't know how it counts it. 98, 99, 100. 3.
97, 98, 99, 100.
Well, after this one, it's 3 left. Hand 97. Scott has ace deuce suited on the button. And even with Benji and Clint behind him, our hero just flats. Which brings Benji along, and Clint's gone in the $25 straddle. A couple similar hands and a very different hand that 7-5 hearts has the most equity right now. And he flops an open-ended straight flush draw. That is pretty. Scott's going to c-bet into this board multi-way with ace-deuce of spades. Doesn't even have backdoor spades. Pretty ambitious. Definitely getting called. Not in a million years are you getting an open-ended straight flush draw to fold. Here's what I expect to happen. If Eric is going to check, he's going for a check raise. But if he does check, Scott will check back immediately, give up, and it's a flip. There's the pair for hero. Turns out to be good. He's going to take a showdown value, and Scott will also with ace high. Hits his 5, wins $355, and his night is still nice. I enjoy when I have a prevalence of predictive prognostications. What the hell am I saying? I've been sitting in this booth for 4 hours on the microphone by myself, having a blast. I hope everybody else had fun with me. We got 3 hands left. That was another fun one, even though it check rivered. Is the initial buy-in for this game capped? Yes, the minimum is 1,000 your wife's boyfriend, and the maximum is 3,000. After an hour and a half, it goes to match the stack, which I disagree with, and I will probably be lobbying to change that. Anyway, this game gets too big, and it's a little barrier of entry for anybody wanting to shot take 5-10 that might typically play 1-2-5 or 2-5. Oh, Doug. That's very sweet of you to say and comforting. All the 12 people left watching this, I consider you all very close friends. Our hero's running a bluff late in the night. He's got a gut shot straight draw. He's going to take it to bluff zone. Danger zone! He gets the gut shot to fold. And he shows it like a true villain. MF Doom would be proud. A man after his mad villainous heart. This is hand 99. Primetime 99. That's right. This is, in fact, graphics, the penultimate hand of the evening. Enjoy. Enjoy. Relish in it. Benji's little champagne flute flits in his cup holder so frivolously. Clint's making a move. It's going to work. There you go, Clint. All you needed to do tonight was move right behind Benji, and your whole night changed. Too bad it happened like with 20 minutes left in the stream. That can be all it takes sometimes, man, to shift out your mojo. You drop gears a little bit. Here it is. Last hand, $50 straddle is on. I want to thank all the dealers. I want to thank everybody watching. Our players. Graphics. Tyler Mawini. The ultimate champ on the computer. Holy hell. Now I'm seeing it. The $100 straddle's on and the $200 straddle's on from Clint. We got straddles all around the table, and Slick Rick is praying to God he gets a hand to play. They know it's the last hand. He's bummed out. Hefe also has garbage. Straight trash. So does Scott. Oh, I don't know if I'd want to make a move with this. Even if I had the 50 on. You got to work through some giant straddles. And he folds. Yeah. But Benji is a different type of character. Our brave young Benji boy. Clint has showed Slick Rick his hand. Benji has raised Jack 9 offsuit. Ambitious. And I already knew what was going to happen here because I saw it earlier. I saw it about 15 minutes ago. What's about to happen as our big finale of the night. One of the bigger moves of the night. Oh, there's Scott's head. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Look at that hat. You're right in the way, man.
What's crazy?
He made it big. He made it real big. And Benji snap folds, and everyone owes him $50 for winning the 7-deuce game in the last hand of the night. Thank you. Bye-bye.